Good day. In this video lecture, our topic will be kinds, reformation, and interpretation of contracts. Let's talk first about the kinds of contracts. Now, if you speak about kinds of contracts, you should make sure that you know the category that is being referred to in order to classify the contract. That is the best way for you to remember the different kinds of contracts. Okay? So I repeat, if the question is what are the different kinds of contracts, you must identify first the category that you are going to use in order to specify the kinds of contracts. For example, in our first category, kinds of contracts according to perfection or formation. First, we have consensual contracts. These are contracts that are perfected by the mere meeting of the minds of the parties. Just like in our contracts of sale or lease, wherein so long as the parties already said yes to the product being sold or being leased, and the other party agreed already to the price for the product or for the lease of the product, then the contract is already perfected. This is my example during our in our face-to-face classes. The one in the activity happening in the public market, diba? There's no need for the buyer and seller to write in a piece of paper kung ano yung bibilhin at kung magkano yung gulay na ibinebenta. There's no need for that. By the mere agreement or by the mere meeting of the minds of the parties, verbally, that is already enough to perfect the contract. As compared to real contracts, these are contracts which requires for their perfection both the consent and the delivery of the object. So, real contracts, the contract is only perfected when delivery of the object already happens. Kapag naibigay na ni seller, for example, o ni the other party, nabigay na niya yung iprinamis niya na thing doon sa recipient of that thing. That's the time na masasabi lang na perfected na yung contract. Okay? Compare natin silang dalawa. Sa consensual, by mere saying yes to the price and to the product, the contract is already perfected. But for real contracts, it's not enough na nag-yes sila doon sa object and consideration. Dapat meron pang kaakibat na delivery, actual or implied delivery, in order for the contract to be considered perfected. For example, creation of real rights over immovable property must be written also in deposit and in pledge. For example, or to be more specific in this example, in contracts of pledge, ito po yung kontrata na kung saan there is a creditor-debtor relationship. Debtor, yung nangungutang, magbibigay siya ng seguridad doon sa pera na kanyang hiniram. For example, he will borrow 50,000 pesos and as security, magbibigay siya ng personal property. Sabihin natin, a laptop. The laptop will be the security for the creditor to be secured na masisingil niya yung kanyang ipinahiram na pera through the laptop just in case walang cash kapag maniningil na si creditor kay debtor. But for the pledge to be considered perfected, okay, dapat yung laptop may i-deliver muna kay creditor. Kapag hawak na ni creditor yung laptop as a security, hawak-hawak na niya, that's the time that they pledge an accessory contract to the original principal contract of loan. Doon lang masasabi na perfected na yung pledge as a contract. Okay? Again, Yung isa, kailangan ng delivery, real contract. Pero yung isa, by mere consent, nag-yes na sila, wala pang delivery nangyayari, perfected na, and that is consensual. Now, the last kind of contract according to perfection or formation is we have solemn contracts. Ito na po yung mga kontrata na kailangang nakasulat in writing. Merong piece of paper na laman yung usapan containing the object and the consideration and the consent of the parties na lalagdaan ng dalawang partido na concerned. Ano yung example natin ng mga solemn contracts? Donations involving real estate, mga real property gaya ng lupa. I-donate mo yung lupa, dapat mayroon niyang written contract. Or hindi man siya real property, movable siya or personal property, example mga kotse or a money, but take note if the value exceeds only 5,000. Okay? If the value is less, let's say if the value is exactly 5,000 below, hindi na kailangan ng written contract. Pero if more than 5,000, starting from 5,001 pesos upwards, that's the time kailangan pong nakapapel yung donation. Okay, we also have partnership involving immovables. Okay, may mga partnership agreement sa mga businesses, at kung merong involved na real property, example lupa or building na i-donate, hindi naman sa i-donate, i-contribute doon sa partnership business, kailangan nakapapel yung partnership agreement. We have also other examples here. You may just pause this presentation and read the other examples for solemn contracts. Moving on, we have here kinds of contracts according to the degree of dependence. Meaning to say, the question here is, does the contract need a previous contract for it to exist? So, it depends on something. Kaya, degree of dependence yung classification natin. So, number one, we have principal contracts. These contracts, they do not depend on other contracts, meaning to say, they exist independently of their own. Okay? So, example natin, a contract of loan. Next, accessory contracts. These contracts, sila po yung mga umaasa. Okay? Umaasa sa ibang contracts para sila ay mag-exist. So, for example, a contract of guarantee, surety, pledge, or mortgage. Okay? So, example natin para mas maintindihan. A mortgage, ito po yung sangla na alam natin in Tagalog. Okay? So, magsasangla ka ng motor. For example, isasangla mo yung motor mo. Why? What's the purpose? Kasi hihiram ka ng pera. So, in reality, there is already an original contract between the debtor and the creditor, which is a contract of loan, wherein the creditor will give money or will let the debtor borrow money from him. But in order for the creditor to have a security, for him to have that sense of security na kung magdi-default yung debtor at wala siyang cash by the time na maniningil na si creditor, meron siyang property ni debtor na hahabulin. At dyan po papasok si contract of mortgage. It can be a real mortgage or a chattel mortgage. In this example, motorsiklo po, a personal property, therefore a chattel mortgage. Itong mortgage na to ay magiging accessory contract doon sa original na principal contract, which is the contract of loan. Meaning to say, kung mabayaran na ni debtor yung loan niya, yung utang niya, at mawawala na yung contract of loan nila kasi mag-e-end na kasi nakabayad naman na siya, the accessory will also follow. Mawawala na rin po yung usapan nila doon sa sangla, doon sa motorsiklo. Kasi yung buhay ni accessory contract na mortgage contract, nakasalalay lang doon sa buhay ni principal contract na contract of loan. But, baliktarin natin, Si contract of loan, mabubuhay at mabubuhay yan. It will remain existing. Meron man o wala ibinigay na security na motorsiklo in the form of a chattel mortgage doon kay creditor. Merong mga ganon, nagpautang lang, nagbigay lang ng loan, walang hininging security. Malay nyo, tiwalang-tiwala si creditor doon sa debtor. Kamag-anak, kaibigan, na pinagkakatiwalaan, kaya hindi na siya humingi ng security in the form of a real or a personal property. Okay? But again, even without that kind of accessory contract, mabubuhay pa rin si contract of loan, it being a principal contract. Next, according to degree of dependence pa rin tayo, we have preparatory contracts. These are which is not an end by itself but only a means of the execution of another contract. Meaning, merong main contract na mabubuo. There is a main contract na kailangang mabuo, pero si preparatory contract is just introduction, a prologue para makumpleto na yung main contract na gagawin. Anong example natin? A contract of agency as agency does not stop with the agency because the purpose is to enter into other contracts. Dito papasok yung sinatawag natin na SPA. Okay? The SPA, the Special Power of Attorney. Ano yung purpose niyan? Kasi, for example, merong landowner na nasa abroad, nasa Canada, at meron siyang lupa dito sa Vigan City, pero gusto na niyang ibenta itong lupa dito sa Vigan City. Yun nga lang, nasa abroad kasi siya, kaya hindi niya mabenta-benta kasi under our laws here in the Philippines, in order to notarize the contract of sale of a parcel of land, kailangang mag-appear in person yung seller before the notary public who is a lawyer. Now, the main contract therefore is the contract of sale or the deed of sale of the parcel of land. But in order to have this main contract perfected, kailangan na merong mag-represent kay landowner. Okay? Nakatiwala niya na nandito na sa Vigan City. So, papasok ngayon si person A. For example, si person A, siya ngayon yung bibigyan ng special power of attorney. So, anong gagawin ni landowner na nasa Canada? Pupunta siya sa embassy, magpapagawa at magpapanotaryo ng special power of attorney para i-allow niya na si person A na lang yung pipirma sa kontrata na deed of sale dito sa Pilipinas na magre-represent kay landowner pag inonotaryo na yung deed of sale of the parcel of land. So, kinailangan yung SPA as a preparatory contract para makumpleto yung main contract na deed of sale or deed of absolute sale of the parcel of land. Okay, that's your preparatory contract. Moving on. According to the relation to other contracts. Okay, so almost same discussion with preparatory, principal, and accessory. Just the point here is we are now looking at the relationship of the contract with the other contracts. Okay? Okay, again I repeat, preparatory, principal, and accessory contracts. You may just read this. Next, according to their form. Okay, in what form na kailangan yung contract? We have first our common or informal contracts. They do not really require a particular form. In contrast, we have special or formal contracts which really require a particular form. Example, donations and chattel mortgage. So, ibig sabihin po, kailangan talagang merong pina-follow na piece of paper as a template in order to complete the contract. In the contract of loan, pwede kang magpahiram ng pera with or without a written paper na pepirmahan ni creditor and debtor. But for purposes of donations and chattel mortgage, especially if the donation is involving a real property always po na merong piece of paper na pipirmahan si donor and si donee. And yun yung nire-require na formal na form ni contract of donation or deed of donation. Without that paper, the donation will be invalid. Okay? Pero ganito ha, I advise you sa contract of loan, hindi porket informal si contract of loan, you will just loan your money to other people. Mamaya hindi magbayad yan. Tapos verbal lang yung usapan ninyo. Ay, problema yan kung paano mo i-prove yung usapan ninyo. Kaya the safest is, even though it's informal, once you enter into a loan agreement, you always have a written agreement. Okay, that's my piece of advice to you who's listening right now. Okay. Next kind of contract, according to their purpose naman. So if the purpose is to transfer an ownership, example natin, sale. Okay, kaya may bibenta kasi ibibigay mo na yung ownership doon sa buyer. Conveyance of use. Okay, papahiram mo lang yung use, not the ownership, pero yung paggamit lang doon sa property. It can be a use of fract or a comodatum. Example, you just let your friend borrow your motorcycle. Yung motorsiklo sa iyo pa rin, pero pinahiram mo lang sa kanya. We also have rendition of service like an agency. Okay, binibigay mo yung serbisyo mo para sa isang tao. For example, in an agency agreement, dahil nasa abroad siya, you agree na ikaw muna yung mag-process doon sa mga kailangan niyang i-process dito sa Pilipinas na hindi niya magawa kasi nga nasa abroad siya. Okay? Rendition of services. Next, we also have according to the nature of the vinculum which they produce. Okay? Vinculum or the juridical tie, if you still remember this under your law on obligations. Okay? It's the relationship that is formed between the parties to the obligation, in which it becomes the very reason that's why they are bound to the obligation. That in the event that one of them will not obey their part in the obligation, there is an accompanying punishment according to law that may be inflicted upon them. We have unilateral and bilateral contracts. Unilateral, which give rise to an obligation only to one of the parties. Comodatum, ipahiram ko yung motor sa'yo, therefore, it's up to you to take care of it. Okay? Nakasalalay doon sa pinagpahiraman mo ng motorsiklo yung obligation to take care of the thing. Bilateral, those which give rise to reciprocal obligations for both parties. So, in the contract of sale, for example, the seller has the obligation to deliver the object, while the buyer has the obligation also to deliver the payment for the object of the contract. Next, according to their cost, it can be onerous, gratuitous, remuneratory. Onerous, just like in your contract of sale, meaning to say, the object must in exchange for the object, the giver of the object must also receive a consideration equivalent to that of the object. Equal lang, okay? So, kung ibinibenta mo yung lupa mo, dapat yung fair market value, yung patas na presyo yung makukuha mo in exchange. Kaya siya tinawag na onerous. Gratuitous naman, it's out of the goodness of one's heart. Walang hininging kapalit. Okay? For example, our comodatum, yung pagpapahiram ng mga gamit na inyo sa school. Friend, pahiram naman ng ballpen mo. Okay? Hindi mo naman sasabihin na magbayad ka ng 1 peso per letter na isulat mo. Okay? O magbayad ka ng 10 pesos per 5 minutes na gamit mo. Hindi naman, no? Pinapahiram lang natin out of the goodness of our heart. Gratuitous. Also in donations. Ganun din sa donations. Okay, gratuitous yun. Remuneratory. These are in the form of rewards for services that had been previously rendered. Okay? Parang out of the goodness of one's heart rin. However, kaya mo, yung pinakarason talaga kung bakit mo binigay yung isang bagay doon sa taong pinagbigyan mo ay dahil meron siyang ginawang kabutihan noon sa'yo. For example, noong na bumagyo, yung tao na yun, yung tumulong sa'yo na mag-evacuate at magsalba ng mga gamit mo. Because of that, in the future, nakita mo siya ulit, binigyan mo siya ng 1 kilong bigas in exchange for the past service. I-compare natin kay gratuitous, hindi requirement na merong ginawang kabutihan yung tao sa'yo noon. Okay? Naawa ka lang. For example, naglalakad ka lang sa kalsada, may nakita kang pulubi. Okay? Naawa ka, binigyan mo siya ng pera. Okay? Donation of money. Hindi ka naman ginawan ng kabutihan noon. In fact, first time mo siyang makasalubong at makilala. Okay? That's gratuitous. Okay? As compared to remuneratory. Next kinds of contracts according to the risk involved. We have commutative and aleatory. Commutative, these are those contracts where each of the parties acquire an equivalent of his prestation, and such equivalent is pecuniarily appreciable and already determined from the moment of the perfection of the contract. For example, in your contract of lease, o sa mga nagdo-dorm dyan o apartment, di ba? You get an equivalent of the amount that you paid. Okay? Huwag kang umasa na kondo yung makukuha mo for the price of 5,000 per month. Di ba? You get the equivalent of what you paid. And yung usapan ninyo from the very beginning of your contract of lease, bago ka pa man pumasok sa dorm o sa apartment na nirentahan mo, na-determine na ninyo ni lessor, yung may-ari ng property, kung magkano yung ibibigay na monthly payment. That's commutative. But in aleatory contracts, these are those which are dependent upon the happening of uncertain event, thus charging the parties with the risk of loss or gain. Hindi alam ng parties kung magkano yung amount of money, for example, na ibibigay nila doon sa other party. For example, in insurance contracts, ang usapan lang sa insurance contract ay in the event na maaksidente, we will cover the expenses. Di ba yun? Hindi naman sinasabi na we will cover 100,000 of the expenses. Hindi naman ganun yung mga insurance contracts. Kaya regardless man kung gaano kagrabe yung magiging accident at magkano yung gagastusin sa hospital for the medical expenses, that will be covered by the insurance company. Na hindi niya alam during the time na nakipag-enter yung client doon sa insurance contract agreement. Okay? Now, for the last kinds of contracts, we have here according to their names or norms regulating them. Okay? Nominate contracts, these are those contracts which have their own name and individuality and are regulated by provisions of law. Ito yung mga contracts na madali lang sabihin kung ano sila. We have your contract of sale, contract of lease, contract of mortgage. Okay? The law itself gives a name to them. Therefore, they have their own individuality, easily determined. At may mga specific provisions or sections of the law na madali mo lang i-review kung gusto mong malaman yung mga rules tungkol sa mga contracts na ito. For example, our contract of sale. Okay, we have civil code. We have the Civil Code of the Philippines provision on law on sales. If you want to know more about the rules covering contract of sale. In contrast, we have innominate contracts where wala po silang specific na pangalan. They have no individuality. and they are regulated by special provisions of law. And these four here are the kinds of innominate contracts. We have do ut des. Latin kasi mga to. In English, I give that you may give. Do ut facias, we have, or I give that you may do. Facio ut des, I do that you may give. Facio ut facias, I do that you may do. I apologize if I may have read the Latin wrong. Okay? But just know that these are the description for these kinds of innominate contracts. Okay? So those are all about kinds of contracts. And I repeat if you talk about kinds of contracts, do not just enumerate them one by one. The best way to answer it and for you to be reminded is you think first of the category, and once you thought of the category, that's the time that you specify one by one the kinds of contracts under those category. All right.